The cargo hold of the Valdris merchant reeked of rust and desperation. Dr. Ellen Core moved carefully between the cages, her medical scanner humming softly in the dim light. The ship's captain had been reluctant to let her aboard, but credit spoke louder than morals in the outer sectors. She had seen many horrors in her years as a xenobiologist, species captured, sold, exploited. But nothing had prepared her for the sight of cub Rake. The creature was magnificent even in captivity. His fur rippled with bioluminescent patterns that shifted from deep crimson to violet with each labored breath. 4 eyes, arranged in pairs on either side of his angular skull, tracked her every movement with predatory focus. He was barely past infancy by his species standards, yet already the size of a full-grown wolf. His kind, the Scarith, were apex, predators from a death world 3 sectors away, a planet where nothing evolved without claws, venom, or cunning. The chains binding him were industrial-grade durasteel, meant for securing mining equipment. They had rubbed his limbs raw, leaving patches of exposed flesh that oozed a phosphorescent blue blood. "Easy," Ellen whispered, kneeling just outside the cage's reach. The other traders had warned her. "Don't get close, that one's killed 2 handlers already." Pure savage. Ryek's lips curled back, revealing rows of crystalline teeth designed to shear through armor plating. A low growl emanated from somewhere, deep in his chest, a sound that made her bones vibrate with primal warning. But Ellen didn't see a monster. She saw a child in pain. "I'm not going to hurt you," she said softly, setting down her medical kit. She began pulling out supplies, biofoam bandages, antiseptic designed for exotic biochemistries, a neural sedative that would ease pain without clouding consciousness. The cub's growling intensified. His muscles bunched beneath his fur. Then he struck. The chains snapped like dry twigs. Ryek lunged forward with impossible speed, jaws wide enough to engulf her head. The cage door, weakened by corrosion and neglect, burst open under his weight. Ellen didn't run. She didn't even flinch. She simply held up her hands, palms open, and met all 4 of his eyes. "I know," she said quietly. "I know you're scared. I know you're hurt. And I know you have every reason to tear me apart." Rake's jaws hovered inches from her throat. His hot breath, smelling of ozone and alien biochemistry, washed over her face. 1 bite. That's all it would take. She could see the calculation in those alien eyes, the instinct warring with something else, something deeper. "But I'm not them," Ellen continued, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "I'm not the ones who hurt you. I'm not the ones who put you in chains." For a moment, time crystallized. The cargo hold faded away. The humming of life support systems, the distant clang of metal, the whispered voices of a universe that had forgotten compassion. There was only a human and a cub, 2 beings from different worlds, separated by evolution and united by suffering. Slowly, deliberately, Ellen reached out with one hand, not to strike, not to restrain, simply to touch. Her fingers made contact with Ryek's snout. The cub trembled. A sound emerged from his throat, not a growl, but something else, something that might have been a whimper. The bioluminescent patterns on his fur shifted rapidly, cycling through colors she had never seen documented. Soft gold, pale green, finally settling on a deep, warm amber. Then, to her eternal astonishment, Rake's legs gave way. The fierce predator who had broken chains designed to hold industrial equipment, who had killed trained handlers, collapsed at her feet like a puppet with cut strings. His massive head came to rest on her boots, and he released a shuddering breath that seemed to carry the weight of every moment of captivity, every moment of pain, every moment of terror. Ellen's vision blurred. She blinked rapidly, forcing back tears. "Okay," she whispered, running her hand gently over his head, careful to avoid the wounds. "Okay, sweet boy. I've got you." She worked quickly, applying the biofoam to his wounds. Ryek barely moved, though she knew the treatment must have stung. His eyes, all 4 of them, remained fixed on her face with an intensity that spoke of desperate trust. the kind that could only come from a creature who had been betrayed so often that kindness seemed like a miracle. The Scarith are pack-bonding species, Ellen murmured more to herself than to him, as she wrapped his limbs in proper medical bandages. Your people don't just hunt together. You need each other. And they took you from your family when you were barely weaned. Ryak made that sound again, the not-quite whimper that broke something inside her chest. I know the law, she continued, working on his hind leg. You're classified as dangerous cargo, non-sapient, property. She met his eyes again, and saw the lie in those classifications. But I also know humans have a terrible habit of ignoring laws that don't serve justice. The cub's tail, tipped with a cluster of venomous spines that could drop a full-grown Havarian in seconds, curled slowly around her ankle. Not threateningly, protectively. You bit through chains meant to hold starship components, Ellen said, finishing her work and sitting back on her heels. You could tear apart this entire ship if you wanted to, but you're here, at my feet, trusting a member of a species you've never encountered before. She reached down and scratched gently behind what she thought might be his ear analogs. Ryk's eyes began to close, his breathing deepening. Humans have a word for what you just did, Ellen whispered. We call it hope. We call it choosing. To believe that somewhere in all this darkness, there's still light. And you know what? That's what makes us dangerous. Not our weapons or our ships or our empire. She smiled, though her cheeks were wet. We're dangerous because we refuse to let the universe break us. We refuse to let it break anyone if we can help it. Even fierce cubs who probably should eat us but decide to curl up beside our feet instead. Rake's bioluminescent patterns pulsed once, twice, then settled into a steady, gentle glow that filled the cargo hold with amber light. And in that light, a human and a cub, two creatures that should have been enemies, two beings that a cold universe had tried to turn into predator and prey, found something neither had expected. They found family.